Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams, and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds role of personnel and members of joint team involved in rescue operation at Deoghar in Jharkhand. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves continuation of revamped centrally sponsored scheme of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan from 1st of April this year to 31st of March 2026. Union Cabinet approves policy for use of land acquired under Coal-Bearing Areas Acquisition and Development Act 1957. Centre releases 2,94,718 crore rupees as food subsidy to Food Corporation of India and state governments under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana and National Food Security Act in 2021-22. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets with Commerce Secretary of United States of America Gina Raimondo, stresses on enhancing resilience and reliability of supply chains along with transparency in business. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to visit headquarters of United States Indo-Pacific Command Pacific Fleet and the training facilities in Hawaii today before returning to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu confers International Gandhi Award for Leprosy 2021. Nation pays homage to martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh massacre on 103rd anniversary. And in IPL cricket, match between Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings underway in Pune. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has interacted today with personnel of Indian Air Force, Army, NDRF, ITBP, local administration and civil society who were involved in the rescue operation at Deoghar in Jharkhand. Condoling the loss of lives during the rescue operation, the Prime Minister said,
पूरे देश ने आपके साहस को सराहा है। मैं इसे बाबा बैद्यनाथ जी की कृपा भी मानता हूं। हालांकि हमें दुख है कि कुछ साथियों का जीवन हम नहीं बचा पाए। अनेक साथी घायल भी हुए हैं। पीड़ित परिवारों के साथ हम सभी की पूरी संवेदना है। मैं सभी घायलों के जल्द स्वस्थ होने की कामना करता हूं।
The joint rescue operation was carried out by these forces along with local administration when the tourists were stranded in cable cars following an accident at Trikut Mountain in Deoghar district. The accident occurred due to the breaking of the sap of the ropeway operated on the mountain. While appreciating enormous efforts put in by the task force in the rescue operation, he said,
बहुत कठिन ऑपरेशन को बड़े धैर्य के साथ एक लंबे समय तक सातत्यपूर्ण तरीके से सावधानी के साथ आपने पार उतारा है और बहुत कम समय में इतनी सारी एजेंसियों ने बहुत अच्छे कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ ये ऑपरेशन को कम से कम नुकसान के अंदर पूरा किया है। 2 दिन लंबे इस ऑपरेशन को धैर्य और कुनेह के साथ आप सभी ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से पूरा किया है। इसके लिए आप सभी अभिनंदन के अधिकारी हैं।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has approved continuation of the revamped centrally sponsored scheme of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan from the 1st of this month to the 31st of March 2026. It will be extended to all states and union territories of the country. Briefing media in New Delhi, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said this has been done to develop governance capabilities of Panchayati Raj institutions. He said the decision will help achieve sustainable development goals.
इस स्कीम के माध्यम से 2,78,000 रूरल लोकल बॉडीज को सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स के लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने में सुविधा मिलेगी। इस योजना के अंतर्गत 1,36,00,000 लोगों को प्रशिक्षित किया जा चुका है और आगे अब हम 1,65,00,000 लोगों को और प्रशिक्षित करने जा रहे हैं। कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग और ट्रेनिंग के कंटेंट में भी सुधार किया जाएगा, रीडिजाइन किया जाएगा ताकि राष्ट्रीय और स्थानीय दोनों ही एस्पिरेशंस पर खरा उतरा जा सके। नई तकनीक को भी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग और ट्रेनिंग से जोड़ेंगे और कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग और ट्रेनिंग के लक्ष्य के पूर्ण होने पर उनको इंसेंटिवाइज करने का काम भी किया जाएगा।
The total outlay for this scheme is 5,911 crore rupees, with central share of 3,700 crore rupees and state share will be 2,211 crore rupees. The Union Cabinet has approved the policy for use of land acquired under the Coal-Bearing Areas Acquisition and Development Act, CBA Act 1957. This has been done with the objectives of facilitating utilization of lands which are mined out or are practically unsuitable for coal mining and for increasing investment and job creation in the coal sector. The government coal companies such as Coal India Limited and its subsidiaries shall remain owner of these lands acquired under the CBA Act, and the policy allows only leasing of land for the specified purposes given in the policy. The government coal companies can deploy private capital in joint projects for coal and energy-related infrastructure development activities. The policy will help in realizing the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat by encouraging domestic manufacturing, reducing import dependence and job creation. The policy will unlock land for various coal and energy infrastructure development activities that would encourage investment in backward areas of the country. Utilization of already acquired land would also prevent fresh acquisition of land and related displacement and would promote local manufacturing and industries.
The Union Cabinet has given its ex-post facto approval for a Memorandum of Cooperation, MoC, signed between the Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation of Ministry of Jal Shakti and the Ministry of Environment of Japan in areas of decentralized domestic waste water management. A management council will be formed which will be responsible for the implementation of this MoC by formulating detailed activities of collaboration and monitoring of its progress. The collaboration with Japan through the MoC shall prove very fruitful in areas such as decentralized domestic wastewater management and effective reuse of treated wastewater using Jokazo technology. The Union Cabinet also approved the signing of bilateral Memorandum of Understanding between Securities and Exchange Board of India and Manitoba Securities Commission, Canada. The Centre today said that it has released 2,94,718 crore rupees as food subsidy to Food Corporation of India and state governments under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana PMGKAY and National Food Security Act in 2021-22. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution in a statement said, this release of food subsidy is about 140% of the food subsidy released during 2020-21 and about 267% of the food subsidy released during 2019-20. A total of 1,175 lakh metric tons of food grain that include procurement of wheat during the Rabi marketing season 2021-22 and paddy in Kharif marketing season 2021-22 has been achieved. Under it, a direct payment of 2.31 lakh crore rupees as minimum support price has been made, benefiting more than 154 lakh farmers. It added that procurement of wheat has recently commenced in Rabi marketing season 2022-23 in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, and the department is taking all required steps in this regard.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the welfare of the poor is the government's top priority. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the government remained committed to this even during the corona pandemic. He said Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana has assured citizens that the government stands with them through thick and thin. Union Minister Piyush Goyal today said the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana has ensured that no household lacked food during the COVID-19 pandemic. Briefing media in New Delhi, he said under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, 5 kilograms of food grains per month are being provided to 80 crore countrymen free of cost as part of the scheme.
लगभग 25 महीने के अंतराल इस कोविड के बीच 80 करोड़ हमारे भाई बहनों का हर महीने 5 किलो अनाज पूरी तरीके से मुफ्त देने का काम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में किया गया, जिसपे लगभग 3,40,000 करोड़ अनुमानित व्यय है। लगभग 1,000 लाख टन अनाज पूरी तरीके से मुफ्त पहुंचा है, आगे पहुंचेगा सितंबर तक।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a meeting with Commerce Secretary of United States of America, Gina Raimondo. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said, our goal is to enhance resilience and reliability of supply chains and enhance trust and transparency in business. Secretary Raimondo expressed interest in continued engagement with the Indian government as the United States moves toward the launch of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar met with Ambassador of United States Trade Representative Catherine Tai. During the meeting, issues of bilateral trade were discussed. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will visit the headquarters of United States Indo-Pacific Command, Pacific Fleet and the training facilities in Hawaii today before returning to India. He is also expected to lay wreath at the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific and visit the headquarters of U.S. Army Pacific and Pacific Air Forces during his brief stay in Hawaii. The Defense Ministry said Mr. Singh reached Hawaii for a visit to the headquarters of United States Indo-Pacific Command yesterday. On his arrival from Washington, D.C., he was received by Admiral John Aquilino. The United States Indo-Pacific Command and the Indian military have wide-ranging engagements, including a number of military exercises, training events and exchanges.
Union Minister for Labour and Employment Bhupendra Yadav has said that India's vibrant startup ecosystem is a testimony to the country's entrepreneurial talent. Addressing a ceremony in Mumbai to present the EY Entrepreneur of the Year award, Mr. Yadav said India is home to 94 unicorns with a total valuation of approximately $320 billion. Presenting the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2021 to the founder of Nykaa, Falguni Nair, the minister said it is great to see that the 21 finalists for the said award have combined revenue of 1.87 lakh crore rupees and employ close to 2.6 lakh people.
You're listening to the evening news in All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds role of personnel and members of joint team involved in rescue operation at Devghar in Jharkhand. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves continuation of revamped centrally sponsored scheme of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan from the 1st of April this year to the 31st of March 2026. Union Cabinet approves policy for use of land acquired under Coal-Bearing Areas Acquisition and Development Act 1957. Centre releases 2,94,718 crore rupees as food subsidy to Food Corporation of India and state governments under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana and National Food Security Act 2021-22. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets Commerce Secretary of United States of America Gina Raimondo, stresses on enhancing resilience and reliability of supply chains along with transparency in business. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to visit headquarters of United States Indo-Pacific Command, Pacific Fleet and the training facilities in Hawaii today before returning to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya tomorrow. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu confers International Gandhi Award for Leprosy 2021. Nation pays homage to martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh massacre on its 103rd anniversary. And in IPL cricket, match between Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings underway in Pune. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। अगले अंक का विषय है ज्योग्राफी यानी कि भूगोल और हमारे एक्सपर्ट हैं प्रोफेसर अमृता बजाज। सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 13 अप्रैल। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the evening news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya is built at Delhi's Teen Murti estate and covers the lives and contributions of all the 14 former Prime Ministers of the country. Guided by the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya is a tribute to honour the contributions of all the former Prime Ministers. It is an inclusive endeavour aimed at sensitizing and inspiring the younger generation about the leadership, vision and achievements of all the Prime Ministers of the country. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today conferred the International Gandhi Award for Leprosy 2021 to Dr. Bhushan Kumar of Chandigarh and Sahyog Kushti Yagna Trust, Gujarat at a function in New Delhi. The annual award was instituted by Gandhi Memorial Leprosy Foundation. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Naidu lauded the efforts of the recipients and said that both Dr. Bhushan Kumar and Sahyog Kushti Yagna Trust have been working diligently to raise awareness about leprosy and in providing care to those afflicted with it.
In this noble task of eradication of leprosy, by showing the needed empathy and also lending a helping hand at various levels. This is very much required. The Grama Sabhas, which are mandated by the Constitution, they should include this as part of one of their programs. 69% of villages observed the village level meetings in Grama Sabha on Anti-Leprosy Day 2021. We need to improve it further.
Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Narvane today visited the National Forensic Sciences University, NFSU, in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Vice Chancellor of NFSU, Dr. J.M. Vyas, briefed the Army Chief about various activities of this unique and highly specialized university. This maiden visit of Chief of Army Staff was planned to explore the feasibility of wide-ranging collaborations in academics, research, training, consultancy and other fields of mutual interest of national security for the defence forces. General Narvane also visited various state-of-the-art infrastructure facilities such as Cyber Defence Centre, Ballistics Research and Testing Centre, Centre of Excellence for Research and Analysis of Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances, and Centre for Futuristic Defence Studies. Over 186 crore vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said over 15 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The ministry said a total of 1,088 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.76%.
The grateful nation paid homage and tributes to the martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh massacre on the 103rd anniversary today through various programs organized across the country. A special function was held at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab to pay homage to the martyrs who lost their lives in the massacre during British rule on the 13th of April 1919. BJP General Secretary and Party in charge of Punjab Affairs Dushyant Gautam, BJP leader Shweta Malik, Congress Member of Parliament Gurjeet Aujla, former Deputy Chief Minister Om Prakash Soni, former Punjab Health Minister Lakshmikant Chawla, along with other political leaders, families of martyrs, social organizations and a large number of people participated and paid respects to the martyrs. The homage program started this afternoon with playing of Foota. 2-minute silence was observed in memory of the martyrs. The contingent of Punjab Police saluted the martyrs by reversing their arms. The Punjab Police band also played patriotic tunes to pay homage. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On the 13th of April 1919, one of the most brutal episodes of Indian freedom struggle, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, took place. The incident marked a turning point in India's struggle for independence.
The Rowlatt Act was passed on 10th of March 1919, authorizing the government to imprison or confine without a trial any person associated with nationalistic activities. This led to nationwide unrest. This act was termed as Black Act by nationalist leaders. Mahatma Gandhi initiated Satyagraha to protest against the Rowlatt Act and published an article called Satyagrahi on 7th of April 1919, describing ways to oppose the Rowlatt Act.
The British government issued orders to prohibit Gandhiji from entering Punjab and to arrest him if he disobeyed the orders. Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, the two prominent leaders who were a symbol of Hindu-Muslim unity, organized a peaceful protest against the Rowlatt Act in Amritsar. When the two leaders were arrested on April the 9th, 1919, the people marched to the Deputy Commissioner's residence the next day to demand their release. They were fired upon by the police and many people were injured. The Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, Michael O'Dwyer, directed the officers to suppress all opposition.
13th of April 1919. On the day of Baisakhi, people had gathered at Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Baisakhi, in spite of the orders prohibiting any assembly. At the meeting, two resolutions were to be discussed. One, condemning the firing on April the 10th, and the other requesting the authorities to release their leaders.
And that is why the Mahatma begs us to take the course of non-violence.
When the news reached the police, the tyrant Brigadier General Reginald Dyer headed to the Bagh with his troops. He entered the Bagh, deployed his troops, and ordered them to open fire without giving any warning.
Should we issue a warning, sir?
They've had their warning. No meetings.
People rushed to the exits, but Dyer directed his soldiers to fire at the exit. The indiscriminate firing continued for 10 to 15 minutes, and it ceased only after the ammunition had run out. Over 1,650 rounds were fired.
The total estimated figure of the dead as given by General Dyer was 291. However, other reports, including that of a committee headed by Madan Mohan Malviya, put the figure of dead at over 500.
As the news of the massacre spread across the nation, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore renounced his knighthood.
General Dyer's actions on the day of the massacre received a prompt acknowledgement from the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, Michael O'Dwyer, who at once wired to him,
"Your action is correct. Lieutenant Governor approves."
Both the British officers, Reginald Dyer and Michael O'Dwyer, faced violent criticism. On 14th of October 1919, the Disorders Inquiry Committee, also known as the Hunter Commission, was formed to inquire about the massacre. The commission only censured Dyer for his actions and asked him to resign from his appointment as brigade commander.
But the fire of revenge was alive in Indian revolutionaries. The barbaric Brigadier General Reginald Dyer died in 1927 due to a stroke. But the then Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, Michael O'Dwyer, had to face the wrath when 21 years after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Michael O'Dwyer was shot by the revolutionary freedom fighter Udham Singh on the 13th of March 1940 in London.
Mr. Dwyer!
After independence, a memorial was set up by the Government of India in 1951 at Jallianwala Bagh to commemorate the spirit of Indian revolutionaries and the people who lost their lives in the brutal massacre. It stands as a symbol of struggle and sacrifice and continues to instill patriotism amongst the youth. In March 2019, the Yad-e-Jalia Museum was inaugurated, showing the account of the massacre.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumers can use this app to register food-related complaints.
Lieutenant Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan inaugurated Puducherry's first ever beach festival 1C Pondy 2022 this evening in the presence of Chief Minister N. Rangasamy. The festival will be celebrated for 4 days in Puducherry, Gandhi's Beach, Pondy Marina and Sand Dunes of Paradise Beach. Various cultural events and contests will be held during the festival. In Uttarakhand, the world-famous Valley of Flowers located in Chamoli will open for tourists from the 1st of June till the month of October. The Valley of Flowers, known for its meadows of endemic alpine flowers, was declared a national park on the 6th of November 1982. In 2004, UNESCO declared the Valley of Flowers a World Heritage Site.
On to sports in IPL cricket, Punjab Kings were 134 for 3 in 15.3 overs against Mumbai Indians at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune when reports last came in. Earlier, Mumbai Indians won the toss and elected to field. The Sensex and the Nifty today logged modest losses. Both stock and indices declined for the third session in a row amid mixed cues from global share markets. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex plunged 237 points to finish at 58,339. The Nifty also tumbled 55 points to settle at 17,476. In the forex market, the rupee weakened 5 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 76 rupees and 18 paise per dollar. Gold was trading at 53,010 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices also gained 435 rupees to 69,225 rupees per kilogram, and in intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $106.40 per barrel. Gaurang Dhawanlal for AIR News.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have strong surface winds during daytime. Minimum temperature will be around 22 degrees Celsius. Maximum is expected to be around 39 degrees. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 24 degrees. Maximum expected to be around 36. Chennai is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature will be 27 degrees. Maximum expected around 35. Kolkata is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature will be 28 degrees Celsius, maximum around 36. Srinagar is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature will be 11 degrees, maximum expected around 22 degrees. Jammu is expected to have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 23 degrees, maximum around 38. Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are likely to have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Vishakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima and Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds role of personnel and members of joint team involved in rescue operation at Deoghar in Jharkhand. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves continuation of revamped centrally sponsored scheme of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan from 1st of April this year to 31st of March 2026. Union Cabinet approves policy for use of land acquired under Coal-Bearing Areas Acquisition Development Act 1957. Centre releases 2,94,718 crore rupees as food subsidy to Food Corporation of India and state governments under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana and National Food Security Act in 2021-22. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets with U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, stresses on enhancing resilience and reliability of supply chains along with transparency in business. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to visit headquarters of United States Indo-Pacific Command, Pacific Fleet and the training facilities in Hawaii today before returning to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.